I have seen a couple presidents in office, but I've never seen an administration that's as transparent as the Trump administration or as attractive. Like I say, Trumpitos Avengers are the most attractive administration that we've had. Like everybody except for Stephen Miller is attractive. Just like some superheroes. I once had me some angels. They was Marcus's angels. They wasn't as dangerous as Charlie's angels or Trumpito's angels, but like they shoplifted and did check scams and stuff like that. We did all right. Not maybe not the same thing. I don't know, but it's just rare to have a loyal group of women that are actually dangerous. Not to say that women aren't effective, but most women aren't as dangerous as Trumpito's angels. It's also rare for an attorney general of the United States to venture off into the national security division. They say within Pam Bondi's first 5 minutes in the Homeland Security National Security Office, she did a bunch of remodeling. As soon as she got in there, she just basically removed all the portraits of Joe Biden, Camilla Harris, and her predecessor. His name was Merrick Garland, because nothing is less inspiring than a bunch of framed losers hanging up all around the office. You're supposed to have them pictures that say like motivation, inspiration, all that stuff. They had that's crazy. That is crazy. They had like the wildest, and then like you got to know that she was gonna have a problem with that. They should have got rid of him. As a matter of fact, um, uh, uh, she did remind them that there was a new administration in office and that had new administration had been elected to run the country. And then she also fired the senior deputy over that division for leaving them pictures of them losers up. You stupid! You're fired for that. Let me remind you, this was the same administration and the same national security division behind all of Trumpito's prosecution. And Pam Bondi, like I said, is one of Trumpito's most deadliest angels. She may look like a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, but she's more Army platoon leader than cheerleader. And now that there's been a political assassination, Charlie Kirk, her friend, Bondi has begun marching her troops after anyone who uses hate speech. She said that freedom of speech doesn't mean you have the freedom to make hate speech. My name is Marcus Russell, and this is the Marcus Russell Show. Make sure you tap that like and subscribe button. Let's get right to the video.
I know, look, I make my living with the First Amendment, Madam Attorney General. You passionately believe in and support the First Amendment. There are certain things you cannot do. You cannot cry fire or scream fire in a crowded theater. You cannot make terroristic threats against individuals. I believe that law was broken with doxing of Supreme Court justices and people that work ICE agents, for example. I think we are right there on that line, and I think some of those people have crossed it and probably should be prosecuted. But you also are watching and reading and hearing, this never-ending celebration of the left. We saw it with the United Healthcare CEO and the praise of Luigi Mangione, and you're seeing it in this case. It is evil, it is dark, it is sick, it is incomprehensible. Are there any, where does it become a legal issue from your vantage point as Attorney General?
Well, sure, we all believe in the First Amendment, and these people speak horrible things. I think yesterday or today, Sean, a school board member right here in Virginia had to resign because she said horrible things about Charlie Kirk and that he deserved to die. That's horrific. It's free speech, but you shouldn't be employed anywhere if you're going to say that. And employers, you have an obligation to get rid of people. You need to look at people who are saying horrible things, and they shouldn't be working with you. Businesses cannot discriminate. If you want to go in and print posters with Charlie's pictures on them for a vigil, you have to let them do that. We can prosecute you for that. I have Harmeet Dillon right now in our civil rights unit looking at that immediately, that Office Depot had done that. We're looking at that. But Sean, they thought they could silence Charlie. All of this chatter, all of this hate, they couldn't silence Charlie. What they've done is they have created an army of people. I think millions of young people are coming out of the woodwork now. And I think we're going to see a lot of young women as well being very vocal in their conservative values. And Charlie was deeply, deeply religious. We all knew that. And he wore his faith on his sleeve. And I think you're going to be seeing a lot more young people not be afraid to show their religion and to come out publicly. And I think Erica Kirk has done a great job encouraging young people to do just that in Charlie's memory. They thought they silenced him, and it was the opposite.
I know I crack a lot of jokes, a lot of jokes about gay people, trans people, and really not gay people. I can't crack a lot of jokes. Oh, yo, I said at the beginning that it was a trans shooter. The shooter's ma- significant other was a trans person. I was close. Um, but I don't hate gay people. You know what I'm saying? I don't hate Mexicans. I don't hate nobody. But I understand where she's coming from, talking about we're going to get rid of hate speech. Now, of course, Democrats have flipped this and turned it and make it seem like they're trying to get rid of the First Amendment. They also issued a notice to all content creators that anybody who makes false statements, their channel is subsequently might get shut down. But I've proven with months of scientific research that A, Gavin Newsom is a vampire. B, these Democrats are MS-13s. My channel's still up, so you know that it must be facts. But she's not about to get rid of the First Amendment. It's just like Dude pointed out. It's if you threaten the president or you make violent threats or you speak hatefully towards somebody, they're gonna charge you. Not that you in Russia, if you make hate comments toward the president, they'll just get rid of you and your whole family. you know, Praise God, we live in America, where Pam Bondi and Cash Patel have to investigate and then take it through the court of law before they can prosecute. They can't just hold court in the streets. But yeah, for any of those naysayers who still don't believe that if you F around, you will eventually find out, go ahead and keep saying some hateful terroristic threats online or, promoting it on your left wing media news stations and just watch what happens to you. I'm not saying that she's gonna just get rid of the right to be able to say whatever you want, especially for press. Press is free. That's why I can use the clips from any news and I won't be charged with copyright because it's a free press. And also freedom of speech means I can basically say whatever I want, but I can't get on there and start talking about hurting people, promoting violence, and anybody who does that is not American, truly American, because truly American people are God-fearing people. And yeah, like I said, I crack these tasteful jokes, but at the end of the day, I really love everybody. I have several family members who are gay. I love them to death. I shouldn't have said to death. I also, like I said, I feel like any man who cuts their man parts off just so they can is crazy. They don't need to have guns. They're dangerous. What could you do to somebody who cut his own stuff off? He's crazy you know. But Pam Bondi, she has been a beast since her very first day in office. That's why I told you that story about her very first 5 minutes in that department, firing people, taking down. Hey, she is one of Trumpito's most dangerous angels, one of the most beautifulest, but also one of the most dangerous. She is not to be played with. So say something if you want, Democrats. Get on here and say something else. Anything. I dare you. Yeah, y'all better be quiet for the rest of these 2 years, man. I've been telling you, and no more mortgage fraud. Like that is stupid. Why would you? Because she's going to investigate, and they're going to prosecute, and that's my story. Tell me what you think in the comments. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Until next time, peace.